flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn. It's a new day, it's a new life. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life.
From the desert of Arizona, we're live from Phoenix Raceway for some GoatLocker Racing Cruisin Classics Wednesday night action here on Maconi Entertainment. Avondale, Arizona's 1 mile Phoenix Raceway will play its part tonight, 115 miles here at this 1 mile short track that opened in 1964, but has seen a lot of changes over the years. My name is Dylan Coyle, joined alongside Jeremy Briggs, Howie Burrows up in the production booth, and we welcome you into some 115 laps to see the race number 9 of 10 in the regular season from this next gen series. These drivers are going to be doing battle at this racetrack under the blazing hot sun at a, I guess, relatively recently still renovated Phoenix Raceway. And Jeremy, I'm going to bring you in real quick on this one. It's getting very tight with 2 races to go until that playoff cut line, and a lot of drivers still have an opportunity to point their way in.
Yes. Good evening, everybody. We take a look at our season 7 standings. As you can see, we got 2 drivers up there with multiple wins. We've got 6 different winners, and if you look at our cut line there, it is very close to Michael Bennett and Corinne Smith. Those 2 drivers right there on the cut line tonight, and we'll have to see how it plays out. It is extremely close right there as the season is almost over. The regular season, excuse me.
Yeah, the regular season is coming to a close, and actually, this is a race that sets up the final Dash for Cash that will be played out at Nashville Superspeedway next Wednesday night before we have a mini break until the round of 12. Take a look at the Season 7 standings after round 8. That was at Gateway Worldwide Technology Raceway, and that is where the cutoff line is 6 points, but 4 drivers are all separated by just a measly 8 points at this point in time. We've said points a lot. How about we take a look at who is starting from the points here in tonight's race? On the pole, Jeremy Gardner. There's one for the Jeremys in here. Jeremy Briggs alongside Jamie Barkis in the first row. Gardner got that Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award. We'll talk about them a little bit later. Eddie Smith will line up a second on the inside row, while Levy McCarty will start P4. Patrick Drabick will start in 5th place. Drabick is one of the first drivers in the standings. He's one of 2 with 2 wins in this one. Ryan Pendleton will be starting in 6th, while Charles Stevens and Michael Bennett round out row 4. Rounding out the rest of the top 10 is Jacob Ellingson and Blake Edel. And we've got 11 more drivers remaining in this order. Timothy Stubblefield, James Kaufman, George Jewell, Charles Feltz, Brandon Evans, and Bobby Germain, your first 8 rows, while Jesse Whittington and Timothy Wilms, alongside Charles Abert, Jason Taylor, and Corinne Smith, your group of 21 drivers. Jeremy, one pace lap. What thoughts do you have here?
We've got some heavy hitters in the back. Got Drybeck starting from the pits. Got to see how Evans, one of our multi-time winners as well, starting there in mid-pack. We'll see how that plays out as the pace car is off. Let's go racing.
We are getting ready for 115 laps at Phoenix Raceway, 115 miles. Glad you're joining us on this Wednesday evening on Maconi Entertainment. It's GoatLocker Racing time. We're green in the desert.
So far, so good through that dog leg. Oh, we got one all the way up against the wall. That's the 15 of Jamie Barkis. Second place. Oh, slight contact there with the number 12 of Levy McCarty. Everybody checked up. So far, so good. We're looking to come around and complete lap number 1.
Yeah, this track has a bit of an asymmetrical feel here. Both corners are pretty wide, but none more so than 1 and 2, the former corners. 3 and 4, and we're wrecking in the back.
Ooh.
Big hit by the 92, 3 cars involved, and already drivers dealing with chaos. That was Timothy Stubblefield out of this race on lap 2, and Phoenix is known for mayhem through the dogleg.
I didn't even get an opportunity to really spit that out about how treacherous that dog leg can be no matter where you are on it, between being all the way down to the bottom or just trying to go through the track, the regular track surface. As you'll see right here, a slight unload right there, and oh, it just cranks to the right on him. And it just happens so fast. I've experienced that myself here at Phoenix. And just unfortunately, it looks like Jesse Whittington, one of our heavy hitters, is involved in that as well.
Yeah, Jesse Whittington certainly involved right there. I don't know how much damage Whittington has gained. Luckily for him, he's already locked into the playoffs by virtue of that 1 win. There is the 7 machine of Charles Abert. That is more of the concern, I'd say, at this point in time. Abert not in the playoff picture at the moment, so that damage could be massive. And it's unfortunate right there because Stubblefield's, it was really just too much lateral load going through the dog leg. He kind of almost overshot it, right? Almost a bit of understeer through there. It just wasn't wound up correctly. The tires weren't there. Just a weird a bit of snap as well.
it's really hard to explain what the feeling was, but I always felt like to myself, I'd always want to make sure I lifted just a little bit going through there sometimes, because it was just, like you said, just the load was just weird sometimes. And with I think the independent suspension going through this dog leg, it just the way the load works on those tires a little bit differently than it would with a straight axle. I think it just makes these cars a little bit treacherous there, and we might see some action off of turn 2 as it gets very flat over there. We'll have to see how it plays out, as we already had lap 2 action.
Yeah, so lap 2, we're under yellow. No better time to talk about the title partner of GoatLocker Racing's Wednesday Next Gen Series, and that would be Cruisin Classics. The title sponsor houses hundreds of unique automobiles within a 56,000 square foot showroom in Columbus, Ohio. One of the best collections of muscle cars and classic cars for sale in the U.S. There's something for everybody when you come to visit. And before we get back to racing with this quickie caution right here, we should also give a shout out to Jam Printing and Promotions, the title sponsor of the GoatLocker Racing Pole Award that Jeremy Gardner won here tonight. It's veteran certified organization that contributes printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. JAM is GLR's go-to promotional company. Gardner had the pole. He will lead us back to green in the race's first restart of the night. We're underway. He gets going through turn 4.
Awesome shot right here. You can see 4 wide to the dog leg. Literally just spreading out, trying to get every position they can right now. Speaking of positions, Brandon Evans now in the top 10 after a uncharacteristic start towards the back there for Brandon Evans.
Yeah, definitely an uncharacteristic start for Evans in the rear, but I don't think that's going to stay that way. He's already up to P7, and I believe that Jeremy Gardner in that clean air has set the fastest lap of the race so far, 28.731. I'm sure that will change once we do go through different pit cycles tonight, if we do have green flag stops. Now, by the way, these drivers, it's a bit of a generous tire allotment available to them. They have 4 sets of tires available, including the ones they have on right now. So 3 sets are waiting in the pits. And is that another fastest lap? It looks like it by somebody in the field. Oh, man, the 23 of Pendleton got shoved up high. He is losing spots down the backstretch.
I'm pretty sure he was in a power slide for about a half a lap right there. The 23 of Pendleton right there with a great save as we look at the 84 machine right there in front of the 0. That's Charles Stevens right now in 3rd. The 07 trying to get to his inside from 4th. A little bit of damage there to the 07's nose as well.
Yeah, that is a good catch right there. Some definite damage onto the 07. And remember, he was supposed to start from pit road. He did not. He started from his initial starting position up in the top 10. So, oh, look at that. He's wiggling through the dog leg. Almost had a little bit of help right there. I believe that was Levy McCarty who got to the rear of that 07 machine. Drabick is right now alongside the 84 of Charles Stevens, and the 12 of McCarty doesn't know exactly where to go. There's a dive by Jacob Ellingson. He's going to roll into the corner well, but he's not going to roll off better. Almost 3 wide through the dog leg. Goodness me, some hard racing just outside the top 3.
Oh, McCarty up the track just a little bit. Wow. This is some extremely tight racing. Some great internet connections here tonight because netcode is not playing a factor because that was extremely close, and we've seen sometimes how that netcode can be a havoc on the night, and so far so good there as McCarty and Drabeck continue to battle side by side right there for 3rd and 4th. Just looking there behind them is Charles Stevens, Brandon Evans, and Marcus right there in the 15 machine. And look at that, I think it's Jacob Ellingson, that Lincoln Tech number 27 just inside the top 10.
Correction to our earlier statements tonight, it wasn't the 07 that was supposed to start from pit road. It was actually the 27 of Jacob Ellingson who did start from pit road, and Ellingson's already up to 8th. One caution has helped for sure, and nonetheless, what we're hearing is that he changed his name on Discord to, did it say Patrick Drabick? We're hearing reports on Discord.
No.
So yeah, a little bit of trying to confuse us broadcasters, and I think he did the job.
Worked quite well on us, I can tell you that. I was just as confused. I was like, I just thought he wasn't starting up here. Oh, he's still on the track. So here we are. Some great green flag racing though. Right up here behind the number 39 of Brandon Evans. You can see Charles Stevens falling back a couple positions. Jamie Barkus right there in the glove station machine. He's just hanging on to the top 10 and 7th. The field's getting a little bit spread out right now. We've gotten I think we're probably on a 10-lap run now, I believe, under green flag conditions.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right about that. We're under a 10-lap green flag run, and that you can't say anything about because that is truthful, and we do not guarantee anything past 10 laps.
Yep, we only said 10. That's all we can guarantee right now.
Nonetheless. Oh, man. Well, these tires will get very worn very quickly at this track. It's a flat track, right? So it's hard to make moves. So that's why drivers are so aggressive right from the jump, because if you're not, well, then you're going to have to really struggle. Oh, look at that. A little bump into the rear of the 19. That was Blake Edel giving the old how do you do to Michael Bennett. That was a bit naughty, but hey, Edel said, I'm coming through, and Bennett said, oh, man, gotta come right back.
Oh, so tight. You were talking about tires, 114 degrees for the track temperature here today. Definitely going to be making these drivers have their hands full. The sun beating right down on this Arizona pavement, just cooking it. Dry heat out here. I have never experienced it. I believe Dylan has maybe once or twice, but I think it also rained in Phoenix this last time out with NASCAR.
Yeah, it rained the Friday that we were there a couple weeks ago, as there's a move down the inside, the 39 of Brandon Evans taking on the 07 of Patrick Drabick, and I think he's going to get the move done. He's got the inside line. He hasn't cleared him entirely. The momentum will be on the outside, though, but the 07 as well as the 39 drifts up, and now it's going to be a drag race down the backstretch with Levy McCarty in tow. He'll push the 07 on the outside. That's going to help keep this battle going. For the 12, though, the more that these two go side by side, the better the opportunity will be to make a move happen going into 1 and 2 down here.
These three drivers right here duking it out, slowly but surely starting to bring the rest of the top 10 into the picture. Woo, what a move there by Brandon Evans to find himself in the podium position of number 3.
Yeah, some drivers are flying through this field right now. Kind of what I was saying before that battle heated up in the desert was it was pretty chilly. Friday, 2 weeks ago at Phoenix, it was raining, it was cold, and it was not suitable for a lot of on-track action as the 12 and the 07 make contact a couple of times. They do through turn 2. We'll see if there's more into 3 and 4. There definitely is. There's beating and banging. Oh, they're not letting each other up. The 12 finally gets by the 07, sends him to a fight with Charles Stevens. I'd remember that one if I am Patrick Drabick.
Drives it in there really deep into 1 and 2, just trying to get away from this field, get back into a smooth, steady pace, but still under pressure from the 84 of Charles Stevens. Ryan Pendleton, who had a good save earlier on with a massive power slide through the turns, trying to find himself up and back into the top 5. right now knocking on the door right there behind Patrick Drabeck, as these cars are all looking on Jamie Barkus in the 15 machine looking on as well as we ride along with him on board.
Yeah, this is a good bit of racing, more than we've come to expect here at Phoenix Raceway in real-world action. Patrick Drabeck did not get up to the wall until pretty late on his exit right there. Scrubbed off maybe a little bit too much speed, keeps the 84 and the rest of this pack in tow as we move to lap 24 of 115. Now, these drivers can get close to the checkered flag if it stayed green on fuel, but on tires, I think they're thinking somewhere in the, maybe 60% mark of this race to come down for 4 new tires. You lose a lot of time if it stays green. Lots of drivers starting to drift up through these corners as we continue marching on. It's been a good bit of racing here, but you know who's relatively comfortable out front? It's Jeremy Gardner, who is a second up in front of Eddie Smith. But both Brandon Evans and Smith are 2 fast drivers of their own. That's pretty lonely there for Jeremy Gardner, who goes into corner number 3 at around 150 miles per hour.
As lonely as it could be, it's probably a great feeling right now with all this racing that's going on from 5th on back. Really tight racing. Honestly, I'm quite surprised with the 07's damage on his nose. He's doing as good of a job as he is staying in the top 10. Must not be affecting him as much as I thought it would. Maybe, help not getting as much downforce or maybe some potential overheating, but looks like he's doing fine. Here we are 26 laps into this event. And the laps are clicking away here nicely. Another 10 laps down.
Yeah, the laps are certainly clicking away, and it's easy for some of these packs to be boiled down to truly train-looking cabooses, if you will. The conductor right now in this one is Patrick Drabeck. He's slowing the rest of the field down. He's racing his own race. He might be just trying to conserve his tires for a longer stint. You never know with some of the strategies that these competitors will deploy on track. And here's another thing to remember. It's really hard to pass. So if you at least hold strong with your position, you're giving yourself a shot at the end of the race.
Extremely hard to pass. That dirty air just takes the downforce away. Your tires get lifted up off the ground and you just go straight towards the wall. You got to lift out of the gas, and the person that's on your inside just drives away. And it's extremely frustrating, and that's why this dogleg, everybody gets so aggressive with trying to get down low as they can to just get any thousandths of a second they can of advantage, because you're just trying to get every inch you can out there, every centimeter, and as you can see, a slightly single file there behind that 07, just everybody trying to just bide their time. Like we said, there will have to be at least 1 pit stop done, so we'll have to see when the drivers start to make that decision. It looks like we're now side by side.
Yeah, these drivers are really still putting on a show through the dogleg right here. Phoenix Raceway has kind of gone through a massive change in recent years. Of course, this backstretch used to be the front stretch. Those RVs used to be grandstands. And a lot of people are critical of the actual racing product that you see on track. And while I'm not going to lie and say I'm not one of them, this has been pretty solid so far. That's a big dive into the corner. I'm surprised so far Drabeck made it stick. Maybe it's time for him to turn the wick up if he hasn't already been doing that. I don't want to believe that he just burned up his stuff so early, because he's still making moves and holding his car down near that apex when I don't think he should be if he's not saving tires. It's too early in the race, I feel like, for him to be racing this slowly. Oh, he almost got turned. He saved it.
Wow,
yeah.
I think Drabeck is struggling on exit with a tight condition from that damage.
He very well may be. Oh, wow.
Just really tight racing right there. Two cars trying to find one spot, not going to happen. We got a battle for second up here. 87, Eddie Smith under pressure from Brandon Evans.
Eddie Smith, Brandon Evans, and Evans, remember, has been charging through the field at this rate. We're moving to lap 34 of 115, and Evans, he's got some speed. Let's ride on board, hear what he's hearing in his pursuit of the 87. Definitely in the throttle, and he's got a big run through the dog leg. A bit of a shimmy and a shake from the 87 on the transition from the apron back onto the track. Rolling better through exit is the 39. Might have the speed to get it done into 3 and 4.
The dirty air from that 87 right there. Oh, he's going to keep his nose clean. Oh, just a little bit of wiggle there out of Evans. Oh, another wiggle out of Eddie Smith. They're going to be side by side going into turn 1.
Charles Abert, by the way, in the pits. We'll follow more up with that in a bit. Brandon Evans is trying everything he can. I mean, he's right there. Eddie Smith, I don't think he's going to have a shot to defend in this corner. Look at that. Way on the brake, setting it down to that yellow line. Easy does it. The 39 up in a second.
And we talked about how difficult passing is out here, but Brandon Evans is making it look easy.
A very long stop for Abert, so that's damage from earlier in this race. Nonetheless, as we move to lap 38 now of 115, there's a battle brewing for P4, and it's Levy McCarty alongside, of course, number 23 in this race. I was about to say Jacob Ellingson because he's in 6th, but it's Ryan Pendleton. Pendleton, he's been flying through this field. He's been relatively quiet ever since the early goings here.
Pendleton trying to make his march back towards the front. He started up there towards the front, had a slight power slide, a little loose on colder tires, now making his charge back to the front. Like we said all night, just so hard to pass. Brandon Evans made it look easy. What is Ryan Pendleton going to do? As you can see, the 27 machine is right on board with him of Jacob Ellingson. Started from the pits, now running in the 6th position. What is he going to do? Is the 12 holding both these drivers up, or is maybe Jacob Ellingson a little bit faster than both?
I mean, Ellingson has been flying through the field, remember. He was the driver that had to start down in pit road, and because of that caution on lap 2, he kind of benefited from that. He was able to get back with the pack, gain some positions because of the cars that wrecked, and he was all of a sudden 17th or so on track at the restart. It gave him a really solid opportunity to get back going through the field, and, I mean, at the end of the day, right, that's massive. Cautions out. What happened on track?
We have a yellow, and I'm trying to find somebody stopped. Maybe the 07?
To try and figure it out.
Yep. Okay, so looks like he had a little bit of contact from George Drool here. And he just kind of loses it, trying to save it. Oh, does a good job of making no more real contact with anything else. So the damage that he already had on there, he'll probably try to get as much picked up as he can right here.
Well, here's the
Ellingson
replay.
with a big incident here through the dog leg.
We were just talking about Jacob Ellingson's potential run here, and something happened through the dog leg. I almost wonder, oh, wow, that's a massive hit. Goodness me.
Yeah, it was. I'm trying to watch it on my screen as well. Yes, he net codes out on my screen as well, and it just comes back to him just destroyed. So, just unfortunate circumstance. Right, I think that's right when the yellow came out as well.
My, oh my, how unfortunate that is for Jacob Ellingson, but it does give the opportunity to all of these drivers to get into a pit stop situation under yellow. It also gives them the opportunity to, I mean, realistically, go to the end of this race. It's just the tires are going to be screaming by the end.
I'll tell you one thing these drivers are happy to is take a deep breath. That was a good 35 lap run right there, I believe, and the drivers did a great job of managing them stuff. You can see everybody was sliding everywhere, hot track. Everybody's going to take a deep breath here, get 4 fresh tires, fill up those tanks with Sunoco Racing fuel, and do some more hard racing and try to get every position they can on these restarts.
So we're going to check out what happened specifically on the caution here. So it looks like George Jewell in the 36 right there. And Charles Abert as well. So this is where that caution came from. So lots of interesting things going on. And we keep getting told that it's one thing or the other.
Race car is off.
So lots of things. Let's just reverse it back. We're playing Mr. DJ right now to try and figure out. Oh, there we go. So it was Patrick Drabick again. So Drabick was also around, as well as Ellingson. The 36 was around. Just crazy things happening at the moment.
Back on the green here.
So we're back to green flag racing at the moment. And my, oh my, this could not have been a crazier thing going on for this race. And now, genuinely, going through the dogleg 3 wide, I'm trying to catch up with what's going on here, but just craziness kind of unfolded. So many big names have been taken out.
It sounds like Ellingson had technical issues. His game froze, and when he came back, he was in the wall. Extremely hard for that to happen. He was having such a good run once again. Unfortunately, the commentator's curse grabbed his internet or iRacing server. But we look at this battle for the lead right now. Brandon Evans giving the pressure to his teammate.
Oh, man, Brandon Evans and the 57 of Jeremy Gardner 2 by 2 heading into 3. A better entry by the 39. The 57 can't do much on exit. The teammates 1-2.
Different track, same story. We always seem to find the Evans and Gardner machine up towards the front. Eddie Smith, who was up towards the top 5 after that restart, now finds himself in 8, just trying to hang on as Marcus gets around him.
Wow, oh wow. Nonetheless,
it just keeps getting more and more eventful the more we keep looking up.
It really does. It really does. So around 67 laps to go. Brandon Evans sets the fastest lap in the race so far, and these two just keep going at it. Gardner with a better exit there. Mid-pack's going wild as well.
Which story do you want to take care of as we were side by side for the lead? Gardner now taking the fight back to his teammate down the bottom of the dogleg, trying to get every centimeter he can. He's going to send it hard into turn 1. Evans running up a little bit higher. He'll try to get down to that yellow line, try to get a lower exit, but it works out good for Gardner with that clean air on his nose.
Yeah, so look at this. Levy McCarty has been in the picture, in the top 5 for the entirety of the race. You have to imagine at this point the only good strategy is making sure you keep your tires in check for the remainder of this race. You've got to make it to the end. If you pit, you're just sacrificing premium time on track. For McCarty, for Evans, for Gardner, they've got to protect their tires, but they also have to deal with this aggression from their racing. You can imagine that the 3957 will try to race relatively kindly with each other and not hurt each other's chances of getting the win here. Patrick Drabick going side by side. Oh, he just slid it into turn number 1 and got another bump from the 19.
As we're looking at that 07 machine, you can see all that front end damage looks like it's fixed. Looks like his car might be driving a little bit better, trying to make his charge back to the front now into the top 10.
Big cactus outside of turns 1 and 2. You know, I've never seen cactuses or cacti in real life before. I actually spent some time looking at them in my drive from Phoenix to Las Vegas. And I know that's completely off topic, but I just wanted to mention that because they hurt if you try and give them a hug.
I've heard stories myself, but I've never found out that I wanted to try and see how it went. Let's look at this. We got a 3-car battle for the lead. Levy McCarty, that blacked out unsponsored machine, finding himself in the picture for the win. Look no further behind them, though. You got the 23 of Ryan Pendleton. This might be a 4-car battle before we know it.
It truly might be a 4-car battle. If Ryan Pendleton is able to watch his equipment and he doesn't burn it up too much at this point in the race, yeah, there's an opportunity here. But you really never know, right? This race has a lot of time remaining in it. If you burn things up as quickly as you do, it can be problematic. But we also have to remember that Brandon Evans, he gained 13 spots to get to this point in his race. And yeah, he got the benefit of the caution, but we also saw him running hard and basically maintaining his rapid pace through 45 or so laps of green flag continuous action. So it's not unlike you could run very, fast. And by the way, all drivers are on the same pit strategy because of that caution. So they better make it to the end here on tires.
Everybody going to try and make it to the end of these tires, but they're going to not be happy because they have got quite a few laps to go. Is that a car slow on the track right now? Nope, it's just Jason Taylor going. Let's take a quick look at a replay. Okay, he may have been going slow. Yes, he has troubles with that dog leg. Great save, though. Use those brakes. All those tires are going to be extremely upset, but an awesome save by Jason Taylor.
Goodness me. Now the 18 trying to use one of those upper grooves to make something happen here through 1 and 2. Almost getting into the outside wall, but had to scrub off some speed. The top 4, it's a breakaway right now between Gardner, Evans, McCarty, and Pendleton. Another 1.3 seconds back is Charles Stevens. Way high through the dogleg was McCarty right there. Lost some momentum. The 23 rolls in better, is going to lose momentum on exit, though, of 1 and 2. That's something to keep in mind as well. A nice little nugget being thrown our way is in this battle. McCarty is the only driver not locked into a playoff spot. So a win here would be massive. Now, McCarty is 26 points to the good. Not much to worry about. But say there's internet issues for the next race or even in this race or anything can happen. I mean, he could lock himself in by virtue of a good finish here tonight. Really, though, it's more comfortable knowing that you've won and you're in rather than pointing your way into the round of 12.
as a fan, there's no better feeling than your driver being locked in. So as a driver, that's got to be an extremely rewarding feeling of just being locked in, not having to worry about points. Just go out there and have fun. Get more confidence in your car as you get ready for the playoffs. But right now, the number 12 machine, one of those cars not officially locked in yet. There's a couple more races left in this round, though. Could happen sooner or later, but like we said, winning you're in, no better way to go about it, but getting some pressure now from the number 23 of Ryan Pendleton.
Top four breaking away even more from the rest of the pack. Impressive drives by all of them tonight. Right now there's 17 drivers on the lead lap, 19 drivers on track at the moment. This is not going to be good for specific drivers' playoff hopes. Corinne Smith came into this race 6 points back behind the 19 of Michael Bennett on the cut line. Smith right now runs as the last car on the lead lap in 17th, while Michael Bennett runs inside the top 10, actually 10th place right now. That is a 9-point swing, or I should say more a 7-point swing. That would put Smith at potentially minus 13, but you also have to remember George Jewell is tied on points with Bennett, 6 points to the good to the cut line. You also have to remember, though, George Jewell is in 13th. So, at minimum, I mean, you're looking at a 10-point deficit for Corinne Smith going into the final race of the year. Jim Kaufman as well in that 25 machine. He's 8 points back. He currently runs in 12th, so doesn't really make overall ground on the rest of the field.
All those drivers that seem to find themselves around the bubble seem to find themselves around themselves on the track. As these drivers, to get more points on those drivers, you need to have more positions in between you. And unfortunately right now, Corinne Smith is on that losing end. As we can look right here, Ryan Pendleton in the 23 making the pass for third to get around the 12 of Lev McCarty. We got a new driver in the podium position with 50 laps to go.
Yeah, with 50 laps to go here in this race, there's a lot of action that is yet to be seen. However, the top four just keep pulling away, but even more importantly for Gardner and Evans, they're incrementally increasing their lead over Pendleton and McCarty. This is a good battle right here, though, as well. Blake Edel, we're riding on board with him in his battle against the 15 of Jamie Barkus. Takes a peek down the inside, gets that right rear or left rear alongside the front right of the 18 and is unable to make anything happen. He's coming across the track. A huge hit there through the dog leg. A sitting duck. I think that was Eddie Smith in the 87 that got absolutely punched in the face there through the dog leg. There's a meatball flag for the 87 of Eddie Smith. Nowhere he could go. We're still under green because no one got turned.
Eddie Smith going to be limping this thing around, I think. He's just trying to do everything he can to get back to pit road as he's just going past the start-finish line now. Meatball flag, like we said. Unfortunate events. Let's take a look at that replay.
Oh, man, the 18 just got way loose and nowhere that Smith could go. That was as massive as a hit as you could possibly take to that driver side door. Oh man, that is a shame. Edel with that minor mistake that got exacerbated to a meatball flag for the 87.
Yeah, it's never good when your wheels turn to the left and the car's still going straight. So we take a look back up front. Still Gardner and Evans taking that tricky line through the dog leg. They find themselves about 1 second in front of Ryan Pendleton between the two of them, and about a half a second, or just over a half a second back to McCarty. So top four kind of getting spread out now, still more a 1-2 battle.
What a wild, wild sequence of events we just saw right there. So it's down to 17 drivers right now on track. I wonder if Edel's going to try and get that car repaired. Charles Abert could gain some positions as he's 5 laps behind Eddie Smith. That would be a gain of 2 spots if he's able to make those spots up. Patrick Drabick still in this hard-fought battle right now in for 7th place. And I'll tell you what, the 19 has been aggressive, so has Drabick. These two have a history tonight.
You know, like we said, it's hard to get those passes, and everybody that's been kind of around each other almost seem to get just a tick annoyed, I believe, and they just start racing each other door to door. Extremely hard racing, and Drabick had some damage earlier. Now he's starting to find his way up to the front, and he did not need to start from the pits.
No, not at all. And there's a bit of a wiggle there from Drabick. Bennett got very tight up through turn 4. And they're being chased by Timothy Wilms back in P9 right now. Jeremy Gardner has started to break a tiny bit more away from his teammate Brandon Evans. Not by much. It's still just hovering at just above half a second in between the leader of this race and his teammate. Pendleton is 1.3 seconds back of overall lead. McCarty has fallen off. He is further 1.2 back of a podium position as Drabick and Bennett go side by side here through 1 and 2. Will there be more contact? Yes, there will be. Drabick gets into the outside wall. My bad, your producer. My bad. Drabick says to the wall.
There was some tight racing going on, and definitely had some beating and banging right there as we come off of turn 2. Oh, I think Drabick got a slightly loose there and was trying to save it. That's kind of what led already to the close action, and unfortunately not a lot of room for error.
Yeah, that is a unfortunate looking happening right there for Drabick. He's had a heck of a race to still be in 8th place for the time being, but something tells me that he's going to be in 9th in just a few moments. Timothy Wilms is alongside him through the dogleg. Could not stay alongside on entry into 1, but Drabick pushed tight and opens the door up for the 86. 86 scrubs some speed. He wanted to make sure he got as far down to the inside as he could, and he does just that. Drabick is pushing tight everywhere right now.
Already starting to struggle on the end of the run again for Drabick. Last run did the same thing, just started falling back, could not recover. Even with that damaged fix, maybe it got a little bit of damage from that wall slap just then. As we look further through the field there, you can see Jason Taylor right there in the 12th position, just 2 cars back from the orange car. That orange car right there is James Kaufman. He is running in 10th.
Just a fun. It's a really fun race right now. I'll tell you that, because these two drivers up front are doing some incredible things at maintaining their pace. But also these drivers in the midfield, they're somehow, for the most part, I'd say keeping it clean-ish. Clean and green, I should say, is the more fitting term. We've had 2 cautions in this race. Not a lot of time to give some shout-outs to some of our presenting partners. There's a wiggle from a car just in front of the 36. That's Jim Kaufman in the 25 machine that had that wiggle right there through the dogleg. That's a bit of a 3-car train, and more trains are starting to develop. More drivers will struggle with their tires as this race goes further into its twilight stages.
Laps just ticking away. We are at lap 36 to go here. Up front, you got Gardner, Evans, and Pendleton, your top 3. McCarty, Charles Stevens rounding out your top 5. Jimmy Barkus, Michael Bennett, Timothy Wilms, Patrick Drabick, and James Kaufman, your top 10.
Jeremy Gardner has certainly pulled out in front now against Brandon Evans, and I don't think it's necessarily Evans, just dropping back and Gardner starting to turn up the wick, or at least keeping it aggressive. Those two drivers were fighting for a long stretch of time for the lead of this race, but now Pendleton and Evans are about to start brawling for P2 on track. That's a good battle, but the 60 down in the dog leg. Was there contact there? Not sure. We'll catch back up in a little bit. Here's the battle for second, and there's Bennett right there, and someone left the screen very quickly. Lots of things happening on track here at this 1 mile D-shaped oval.
A lot of stuff that does happen very quickly. As you can see, the leader ran a 153 for a lap time. The second place was a 186. But you look further through the field, Michael Bennett is running one of our fastest lap times right now at a 103.
Yeah, this is pretty impressive from Bennett with those lap times. For your comparison on drop-off, it's around 9/10 of a second from these drivers' fastest laps with fresh tires. We're about just over halfway through the final stretch run, so they're going to continue dropping. I just don't know how much. For a good comparison, Jeremy Gardner said a 27.96 is his best time. His last time was a 29.295. It was actually 0.2 slower than his lap prior to that. So times are starting to fall even at an even quicker rate. We'll see how far these drivers can go and how quickly it's going to be lap-wise before we start seeing 30-second plus laps, as there's a peek to the inside from Ryan Pendleton, going nowhere for now.
We're at that point in this race. Everybody is probably going to be getting a little mental fatigue, start maybe making some mistakes, but they are being extremely sharp with 29 laps to go. Oh, really close race in there as the heat is on for second. Pendleton, can you execute and get this pass done? We've been noting it all night how hard it's to pass. See if the number 23 can find himself one spot better.
And Pendleton still on that left rear of the 39, slides up just a tad. There's going to be a little contact. I think there is some pushing, some shoving, some elbows out here with 27 laps and change to go.
Oh, Pendleton with a little wiggle right there, trying to get all he can on exit to stay alongside that number 39. Losing a little bit of ground right there on exit, bringing the number 12 back into the picture of Levin McCarty. McCarty, one of those drivers not locked in, trying to find himself a safer home, but a good points night if he can finish it off right here.
Pendleton way down low on track. I mean, this is pretty entertaining. McCarty is flying back up through the field, down the inside, 2 cars on the dog leg. That hasn't really worked out so far tonight. Your car gets very unstable. The 12 actually hit the apron through corner number 1, pushed it back up to the top of that bottom groove, lost him some time, and now the 84 down the inside into 1 or 3.
One of those turns. Depends on what track you're at. This could only be 3 turns if you look at it that way.
Or 5 if you include the dog leg.
Yeah, it's true. But hey, look at Charles Stevens making that pass in the top 5. He's going to put himself in the 4th position. Let's see if he can hold off the number 12. Finish this race off. Maybe one more spot. He's not too far back from Ryan Pendleton's machine.
So these drivers, ones who have been holding off until late, and the ones who have been pushing early and now are suffering mightily, they're starting to converge. They're starting to be in the same groups together. Gardner now 3.5 seconds up on teammate Brandon Evans. So what a job that the pole sitter has done tonight. Has led, I want to say, every single lap of this race so far. If not that, then practically every single lap. We'll see if he's able to hold on here through the remainder of this race. Still lots of time for things to happen. A caution would change things mightily. These drivers would be able to come down and get a fresh set of tires. They still have 2 fresh ones, most of them remaining down in their pit stalls. So lots of things can change at an instant.
Can happen very quickly as tires are starting to get worn. Positions are getting extremely tight. Drivers are doing everything they can to save their positions. And we are getting 51 laps into this run. This is the longest run all night long. I put 51 laps on these tires. It's a great information from our producer, and this is one heck of a race they put on here at Phoenix.
It truly has been a fun race here tonight. Lots of things could still happen, and lots of things have already happened. 18 drivers on track right now. Heck, we've even got a battle between 2 drivers as all of them pretty much hit the outside wall of turn 2. Jamie Barkis taking a look down the inside of Levi McCarty. Not even close. McCarty with some major right side damage, I would assume, after hitting the wall at that force with 21 laps to go. Now 20 to go. I was trying to say that we've got a battle between 2 cars 3 seconds apart, both of them 7 laps down, Blake Edel and Charles Abert. Yeah, they're 7 laps down, and they're still just 3 seconds apart from 1 position. So things matter. Look at this. Battling here down between the 86 of Williams and the 19 of Michael Bennett. This is for 7th. Way tight for Bennett, but he still is able to wrap it around the outside and gain some major car lengths down the front stretch.
Great racing here late into this. Some great racing late in this run. Oh, a little bit of contact there from Charles Stevens and Ryan Pendleton.
It's going to increase as this race continues to close into its final laps. I think these drivers are a little bit worse for wear. They don't like having to stretch this run out. Maybe 80%, 75% of what these cars can do on a fuel run in real life. These tires are screaming right now, but I'll tell you what, it's 99 degrees on track. It could be a lot hotter here in the desert. They're lucky it's not another 10 or 11 degrees hotter. We got to look at the current weather conditions.
Extremely hot track temperature, and that's definitely making it a challenge for these drivers. It was started out at 114, now down to 99, but still will have your hands full with those track temps like that. Low humidity makes this track very slick from all that sun. And a lot of green flag racing to add a little bit of heat, especially to make your tires hot. Makes it harder to cool them off with the higher track temperatures. Man, these laps are just ticking away here very quickly here at the end of this race.
So while this battle continues to rage on, we do have a battle still within the top 5. Jamie Barkis and Levi McCarty are only a few car lengths apart as we cross the line with 15 laps to go. Everybody else in the top 5, they're separated by at least 8 or 9 tenths. There's the gap between Pendleton and Barkis. Keeps kind of fluctuating right there, and Brandon Evans has started to fall back mightily. He has definitely hit a wall, and his car is starting to fall off the cliff.
Sometimes it just doesn't feel like it stops either. Once you fall in the clutches of one, you fall in the clutches of another, it just doesn't stop. And that's when you really were just praying for a caution to help stop the bleeding. Get some fresh tires.
Now, Jeremy Gardner is really making it a show. Gardner is 6 seconds in front of this battle that we're seeing on track, or at least the driver in 5th place of Jamie Barkis in that 15 machine. It's been a really nice race so far for Gardner, who is now 3.8 seconds up over his teammate. The worst thing that could happen for him is one that we could absolutely put a broadcaster's curse on, but we're not going to do it for his sake. There's still some good action on the track right now.
Nope.
We weren't talking about anything.
No, we would never do such a thing.
If we say the possibility of a curse, does that invoke the curse?
It would
Chat,
never happen,
please,
you know?
please give us an answer here on Maconi Entertainment. Oh, man, we're coming to 11 laps to go here, and Michael Bennett is now much farther behind on that battle he just in. But there's still some hefty battles going on inside the top 6 right now. This is fun between Barkis now running a higher line through the middle of the corner, gets a better run on exit, but still not doing that much to kind of increase his gap, or I should say decrease the gap that he's currently fighting with on the 23 machine of Pendleton. So it is fun. We do have a battle for second between 2 drivers, a battle for 4th between 2 drivers, and a gaggle of cars in this mid-pack battle. So, with now 10 laps remaining, 10 miles, now 9 miles remaining in this race, the battle, we're on board with Jamie Barkis, and Barkis has been hunting down Ryan Pendleton. It's a solid run, no matter how this shakes out. If you finish in the top 5 after a lengthy green flag stretch to the finish, it is a solid run. Here's Jim Kaufman. He needs points desperately, and he's battling right now with Charles Feltz. Feltz is now in P13, Kaufman in 12th. Something to think about here. There's a lot of positions at stake. Charles Feltz is right there. Bobby Germain, we haven't talked about him that much tonight in the 42. He's in this battle as well. Corinne Smith, currently in 15th, really needs some spots, but she's 3 seconds back of this group. If there is a caution, it presents an opportunity to go alternative on the strategy, or if these drivers start to really duke it out and Smith puts in some good laps, maybe she's able to pick up some extra spots. But for the time being, drivers, like Michael Bennett or George Jewell, they're starting to put in the work. They're doing a good job. Bennett in 8th, Jewell in 10th. Those were the 2 drivers at the bottom of the 12, currently in. Kaufman and Smith, I mean, they're just, their deficit is growing as the laps dwindle down here.
As you see the number 15 right there, glove station machine of Jamie Barkis finds himself right there in the 5th position. Been having himself a solid run in the top 5 pretty much all night long, trying to capitalize on anything here late. Leader out right now to a 3.4 second lead.
Barkis slides! Is it going to bring out a caution? No! He did not go completely. He didn't turn 90 degrees. He was kind of at a 75-degree angle and was way off the racetrack. That could have been a game changer. Would have set up a 2-lap shootout to the end of this race. Any caution from here on out sets up that green-white checkered attempt. They've got 2 of them.
That was a pretty big impact for Barkis. We'll see if he can hang on to it. Still running in the 7th position, but obviously losing a lot of time with that damage. Right there, you can see Charles Stevens all over the back bumper of Brandon Evans. Charles Stevens trying to find himself in the number 2 position with 3 laps to go this time. Who's it going to be for P2?
That is the biggest battle on track right now. Stevens versus Evans. Brandon Evans has really struggled over the final 35 laps tonight. Charles Stevens, though, he's been climbing up the leaderboard ever so slightly each lap. He's just putting in better times. His last lap was 0.2 quicker than Brandon Evans. How about this lap? With 2 to go, how much quicker was the last one? They were almost completely on par with each other. 9,000 separated Evans and Stevens' times. Stevens runs that second groove. Evans way down to the bottom. The momentum might be with Stevens, but he pushed tight on the exit. We're coming to the white flag. No one's race but Jeremy Gardner's up front, but the battle for second continues to rage.
White flag is in the air. What can Charles Stevens do? He can get there, but he can't pass him. That dirty air is playing absolute havoc. He's trying to get to his back bumper.
Man, oh man, what a fun bit of excursion that's going on right now. Gardner coming through 3 and 4 is going to try and win this race easily. Stevens can't do it against Evans. Gardner wins it here. A perfect race for him. Brandon Evans, it's a 1-2 for the teammates, while Charles Stevens couldn't get it done. That's your podium finishers. Ryan Pendleton holds on for 4th, with Levi McCarty rounding out the top 5.
What an awesome amount of green flag racing. Wow. You couldn't have asked for a better race here at Phoenix. I gotta say, whatever they did here at Phoenix tonight, they need to take to the real life, because that was some awesome racing.
That was a lot of fun. We're going to take a very quick break as Jeremy Gardner burns it down, joined by his teammate Brandon Evans. How about this for some dual burnouts in the desert?
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
There is a reason that Maconi Setup Shop is partnered with more real-world tracks and companies, including Junior Motorsports, than any other group on the iRacing service.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you, day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
Phoenix Raceway Victory Lane is home to the 57 machine of Jeremy Gardner. You're back on Maconi Entertainment for some GoatLocker Racing wrap-up. Brandon Evans, his teammate, it's a 1-2 finish for them in the 57 and the 39 machine at the 1 mile oval. Let's take a look at the results. Charles Stevens, Ryan Pendleton, and Levi McCarty are your top five. We'll talk to Charles as well as Jeremy and Brandon in just a few moments. Timothy Williams, Jamie Barkis, Michael Bennett, Patrick Drabick. Somehow, Patrick had a 9th place after all the contact he had tonight. And George Jewell finishing in P10. Solid race from George. Continuing on in P11, Jason Taylor, Charles Feltz, Bobby Germain, Jim Kaufman, Corinne Smith, Jesse Whittington, Blake Edel, Charles Abert, Eddie Smith, Jacob Ellingson. Unfortunate for Ellingson. He starts so well and then just something takes him out of the race. Timothy Stubblefield rounds out your 21 car field. It's time to talk to our top three, and no one better to start with than our race winner in Jeremy Gardner. And Jeremy, it seems like this was a race that you wanted to put a statement on before headed to the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely. Finishing second last week was kind of a punch to the gut, so I kind of want to come out and do pretty good tonight. I knew it was going to be between me and Brandon there. I mean, Brandon runs good here, but I don't know. I just seemed like I had the tires and the strategy down tonight, just trying to play it smart because this is a hot track, Tim. I think it was like 108, 110. And then once the tires wore, it was sliding all over the place. I was just trying to play it smart tonight, not try to choke in front of the field. But overall, man, that was a hell of a race. Hot track temp like that and cars sliding everywhere in one caution. Man, we showcased it tonight.
100%. It was a really, really impressive effort from all the drivers in the Cruisin Classics Wednesday Next Gen Series. But Jeremy, your battle with Brandon at the around the midway point at that restart, it was spirited, but it really seemed like you didn't have to worry about saving your equipment that much because by 30 laps to go, you're almost 4 seconds in front of Brandon and the rest of the field. So for you, what was the key to your success tonight? How did you save your equipment while also going faster than everybody else?
Not letting him out front, that's for sure. I know if I'd have let him out, that's why I battled him hard for position. I knew if he got up there, it was over with. So I tried to battle him. I lifted super early every corner. Like I said, these corners were sliding tonight. So just trying to play it smart, not choke. Man, that was fun. That was definitely fun.
How impactful was dirty air if you were behind another driver?
So when I got up those lap cars, I think it was 5 to go. I mean, I was already sliding bad coming off of 2. I think I got behind 2 cars. I mean, it made it a little worse. I was literally having a 20% throttle out of the corner. I mean, it was pretty brutal.
Well, it looked that way for some drivers in the mid-pack tonight. All right, I'm going to give you the floor. Tell us who makes it work for you guys tonight. Here's the spotlight for you.
Pat and Jamie always first. I appreciate everything they do for the league, for the veteran community. Lincoln Tech, Save 22, one of my sponsors and title sponsor of the series. Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs. iRacing, another one of my sponsors above the yellow line. My guys at Premier Racing Setups, and of course, y'all for putting the broadcast on. We appreciate you.
Absolutely, Jeremy. Jeremy Gardner, winner here tonight. 2 wins so far. 1 race before the playoffs get going. And hey, you're going to get a chance to race for some money next week as well as the rest of the top 5. Congrats once again.
Appreciate it. I'll see y'all next week.
That's something we didn't talk about that much, Jeremy Briggs, but top 5 finishers tonight have a chance to win some money in the regular season finale. Maybe we'll get a chance to talk about that tonight with Brandon Evans, who you're standing by.
Yes, speaking of top 5s, we'll find our second place finisher, Brandon Evans. Decided he wanted to make it more interesting tonight and decided to start 15th. Well, Brandon, we'll start there. You started a little bit more in the middle of the pack, but you definitely fought your way through it, man. Just 1 position short. It was green flag racing the whole way, so you obviously had to work your butt off to get up there, and, man, just walk us through your night.
Yeah, it started in the back. I actually did try to throw down a Q lap because I totally forgot about the back to front. But next week I want to do back to front. I'm for sure. I'm not qualifying. I actually forgot. Jeremy forgot too. But anyway, since I botched my Q lap, I got to start in the back anyway. But yeah, I just tried to drive it up through there. Man, I was loose as all get out. Like 25 laps into the run. Just like zero right rear grip with the way that the car was building late in the run. Tried like hell to keep the balance under it, but um, just didn't go that way. I knew that. Like I told Jeremy when we were in the Discord, I was like, let me lead one lap. I'll give it back to you. We'll race it out and try to save some tires. But old Big Daddy Gardner just drove away from me. So it was a fun race for sure. Like I said, just trying to keep the rear end under me. There was a number of times where I know Charles said he's like, "Yeah, I could see you sliding in the corner," and yeah, I was using the fence to keep me straight too. Just a really bad wind off of two, and lack of right rear grip off of two. Just catapults the rear end to the right as you're trying to exit. Um, so just one of those nuances of a flat track for sure. But fun race. Phoenix is a good track. I usually do fairly well here. So happy for the Premier Factory team and Safe 22 for getting a 1-2 here, and several of our other drivers getting top 10. So just all around a good week.
You took the words right out of my mouth right there. You and your teammate finishing 1-2, leading some great momentum heading into the final race of playoffs. Both of you have multiple wins in the season, just trying to cap it off in the regular season, doing great. And who do you have to thank for getting you here?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to thank Jam Printing and Promotions and Cruisin Classics for being the premier sponsor or the title sponsor of this series. Thank Maconi Entertainment for putting on the broadcast. You guys do a good job. Alexander PCs. Want to thank the guys at Premier Racing Setups, and thank Pat and Jamie and GLR and iRacing for sure. So it's always fun every week. So can't wait to go run it back at Nashville. Thanks, guys.
Yes, thank you so much for your time, Brandon. Have a great night.
Yeah, you too.
That was Brandon Evans, our second place finisher. And we will now welcome to the podium the driver of the number 84 machine, started in seventh place, came home in third. It'll be Charles Stevens. I'm not sure if we've talked to Charles yet this season, but correct me if I'm wrong. Welcome to the podium for the first time, Charles.
Yes, this is my first podium with GoatLocker Racing, and hopefully many, many more to come. So feels good to be here.
Well, welcome to the podium. And speaking of, you got to walk us through your night, man. It was lots of green flag race, but man, it seemed like you just turned it on late in those runs. And we had that one caution come out late in that or early in the race, but then it seemed like you were just doing a good job getting later in those runs and really mowing everybody down. And it worked out to find yourself on the podium.
Yeah, that first when the green flag first came out, I dropped to the bottom. I picked up like 5 spots instantly on that with the opening lap. And then I think I burned my tires up a little too much. The track was pretty slick. And then once that caution came out, I was like, okay, on this set of tires, I'm gonna try to save a little bit to be there at the end, and that definitely helped me to make my way through the field and secure this podium.
That's exactly what everybody's been saying. It was a hot 114-degree track temperature to start out, and your tire savings definitely worked out great to get you home in the third place position. One thing we ask you to do when you get here on the podium is who do you have to thank for getting you here tonight?
Well, I want to special thank for Simrap Market for doing this paint job on my car. If you need any paint help or anything like that, go check them out at Simrap Market. And then my wife and son for allowing me to race. And then I definitely want to thank our sponsors, iRacing, Above the Yellow Line, Sim Motion, and our title sponsor, Cruisin Classics. Without them, man, this would not happen, and I definitely want to give them a big shout out, and especially you guys in the booth at Maconi for doing the broadcasting, and I love going back and watching these things at the end.
Well, for your first time on the podium, you absolutely nailed it. I hope you enjoy going back and watching this one and watching you fight back to a podium position. Congratulations on your third place finish there, Charles. Have a great night.
You too, man. Thank you.
Well, that is the podium finishers for you, and there's one race left in the regular season. One race to decide who races for the championship. 12 drivers will make it. Good gains in the standings by George Jewell and Michael Bennett tonight over Corinne Smith and Jim Kaufman. Charles Stevens as well. I mean, I would say this locks in Charles Stevens, Levi McCarty. One driver who is also good. Honestly, all of them are, I'd say, locked in mathematically, right? Timothy Wilms, Levi McCarty, Charles Stevens, Jason Taylor for sure. All of them came in 21 plus points to the good. So their performances tonight definitely will help them out. The top 5 finishers from tonight will be the benefactor of potentially winning some money in the Dash for Cash at Nashville Super Speedway. Jeremy, your closing thoughts.
What a great night of racing, honestly. I hate to say it, but sometimes I feel like Phoenix leads to somewhat boring or a yellow flag caution fest race because we're just so tight. But I tell you what, this Cruisin Classics GoatLocker Racing Next Gen Series did not disappoint tonight. They honestly put on a better product than the real life racing. There were so many stories going on tonight, and it was just an awesome race to be a part of. And I cannot wait to watch, or cannot wait to be a part of next week's regular season finale.
It will be a barn burner of a race to watch. Before we go, I'd like to give some shout outs to our presenting partners here on Maconi Entertainment and GoatLocker Racing. Lincoln Tech, the title sponsor of GLR's Spring Series. Hit It Whip Brewery, the title sponsor of GLR's Tuesday Series. InVets is the title sponsor of GLR's Sunday Series. Jam Printing and Promotions, the title sponsor of the Pole Award in GoatLocker Racing. Glove Station, the title sponsor of GLR's Monday Series. Cruisin Classics, the title sponsor of GLR's Wednesday Series. Nasty's Restaurant and Bar, the co-sponsor of the Wednesday Series. Operation Valor Racing, the title sponsor of GLR's Friday Series. Redbeard Design Company, the creative agency responsible for all of GLR's logos since day one. iRacing, Save 22, the title sponsor of Goat Talk Live. Above the Yellow Line Media, the home of Goat Talk Live. And of course, us, Maconi Setup Shop and Maconi Entertainment. It was a fun one from Phoenix Raceway tonight from both Jeremy Briggs and Howie Burrows. I'm Dylan Coyle. So long, good night, and good racing.